Danny DeVito and Ewan McGregor on the sofa with Graham Norton at 11:30. First on BBC One, and with very strong language, Nick Clegg looks apprehensive.
What have I let myself in for?
Not the first time you've said that.
Good evening, welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Nick Clegg. In the news this week, on the train to Newcastle, Jeremy Corbyn's claim that all the seats were taken is further undermined by what his advisers were up to in the next carriage. After a decisive Brexit cabinet meeting, Theresa May is relieved to have settled on a clear direction for the nation. And at his constituency in Surrey, Michael Gove reflects on the possibility of anyone in politics trusting him ever again.
Never. Never.
On Ian's team tonight is a comedian who has given advice to anxious school kids, saying, people need to relax and try not to get too stressed out over results. I could have done with you in May 2015. Please welcome Kevin Bridges. And with Paul tonight is a comedian who admits she's not great at timekeeping, saying, minutes sneak away from me, they leave in groups of 10. You call them minutes, I call them voters. Please welcome Roisin Conaty. And we start with the bigger stories of the week. Paul and Roisin, yes. Take a look at this.
This is the UKIP clock, which moves very, very quickly. She's winded it up with her hands. This is Nigel Farage who finds everything funny. This is the man who may or may not have been in a fight. Collapsed. He's all right now.
He's in hospital, but he's got his European health insurance card.
Exactly.
Yes, who's the man who was involved in the altercation?
His second name's like Mike Hooker, jab, punch, Mike headbutt.
Jimmy the Hands.
Ricky Scarface Fitzini.
UKIP MEP Mike Hookham, who's also UKIP's defence spokesman. And there was speculation that Hookham had gone on the run from French police. Triggs on Twitter tweeted, legging it from French police, jump on a lorry in Calais if it's so easy, mate.
It's good that they're, like, literally having a leadership battle, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, other parties do it in metaphors. UKIP, they smack each other in the head.
We should say that Mike Hookham denies there was any violence or that he was pursued by the police.
But why are they still going? They're called the United Kingdom Independence Party. You've done it. Go away. What are they doing on a day-to-day basis? What do they get up? What's in their to-do list?
You could ask that of any politician.
Politicians sometimes ask themselves, actually.
Yes. They're there to make sure that there's no backsliding, that there's not some huge resurgence led, say, by Nick.
Why on earth did Diane quit as leader after 18 days?
The way she was waving there, she found it hard to maintain for 18 days. Repetitive strain injury. Is that right?
Now, according to the BBC, she cited professional and personal reasons for her decision, so that pretty much covers everything, doesn't it? She also felt that she didn't have the support of her colleagues. Is there any evidence to support this?
Well, the fact that Farage was basically hanging, waiting to come back in, he must have wanted her to go.
He's on a bungee rope, essentially, isn't he?
We don't seem a harmonious bunch. I'm just basing that on Mike Hookham. Beating that guy to a pulp.
Certainly not.
Allegedly.
One political commentator tweeted a senior UKIP source who was blaming it on a rift between James and UKIP MEPs, adding, "Today, Farage and 10 MEPs had a proper fucking lunch while she sat alone in the same room."
What does that even mean?
I know.
But so they were at one table and she was on another table?
Completely on her own.
Like the kids' table? Yeah. That's horrendous. We've got to get rid of these goons.
There was one pretty clear giveaway that Diane wasn't too keen to do the job. What was that?
I don't want the job, she said.
Apparently, when she signed the official forms to take over the party leadership, Diane had added, in Latin, the words "under duress."
Are you serious? Yeah. Are they like the mafia?
What is Latin for under duress?
Underus duressimum.
You should be in Harry Potter.
It's V coactus.
V coactus. Fantastic.
Or in Diane's case, V coacta.
V coacta. I'm going to write that under everything I write from now on. Amber Rudd was involved in a number of failed businesses before becoming Home Secretary. V coacta.
This is quite a bleak story, isn't it?
Sorry, so a woman's like under duress. Like, sort of.
She says Billy hasn't got a friend in the world. The only thing she can do is write a help message in Latin. Someday somebody will pick up on it and be able to figure out what had happened to this poor woman.
Yeah.
She must have hoped that Boris would read it somehow. Charge in to the rescue.
One reason suggested for Diane quitting was an unpleasant incident where she was spat at Waterloo Station. But it's not the first time she's been faced with a thuggish man's spittle.
Looks like a Listerine advert, doesn't it?
So Farage is back as leader, or is he? Sky News had a good way of dealing with any confusion. They captured an interview with Farage like this. UKIP leader, we think. What did Farage say when asked if he would return permanently as leader?
He said, never. No, absolutely not.
Somebody ought to say he would do it for 10 million,
Yep.
and he said no.
Asked if he'd do it for $20 million, he replied, "No, I'm not coming back, I'm retired." Sod it, I'll do it if they're offering that much. Farage has got more exciting things to do these days. What's he up to this weekend?
This is the debate with Trump.
Yeah.
He's going to offer his advice.
He's off to support fellow demagogue and post-truth moron Donald Trump in the second presidential debate. There are rumours that Nigel
It's all right now saying it like it is, isn't it?
You still speak to David Cameron, Nick?
Anyway, moving on.
You still phone him up when you're drunk?
Nigel will be giving Trump tips on how to defeat Hillary. What does the Daily Mail think specifically qualifies him to do that?
Because he's won a huge referendum.
No, it's not quite. According to the Mail, Farage triumphed over Nick Clegg in a TV debate on Europe in April 2014. Thanks for that, chaps.
It's all your fault.
Yeah, most things are. What sort of advice will he give Trump?
Just go on there and enjoy yourself.
Get in there early. Go for the big lie first. If you vote for me, $350 billion will be given.
Each child in America will be given an extra leg.
I think, I don't know how you feel about this, Nick, but I think if you make promises and you get elected based on them... I don't think people should be allowed to say things and huge events happen because of what they said. It's fraud.
Exactly.
Do you agree?
Especially the 350 million on the side. If you put it on the side of a bus,
Yeah.
then I don't want to live in a world where you cannot trust what's written on the side of a bus.
Farage and Trump feels like, you know, when in movies where they use two they'd use two bad guys from two separate franchises and then put them in one film. It feels like sort of Predator versus, what's the one?
Alien.
But with racism.
Oh, no, he's not very keen on aliens.
Well, it's an interesting dynamic because Trump is always very, very angry about stuff. He's always really angry, and Nigel Farage is always laughing. Yeah. So I think together it's a good on-screen partnership.
Oh, yeah.
We can find out what Nigel Farage finds so funny, and we can find out why Donald Trump's so angry.
It's a great sitcom.
Yeah.
Trump yesterday said he wanted the terminally ill to vote for him because they are the only people whose futures he can't make worse.
He said, you're going to die anyway, just get out there and vote for me.
Why does he need help at the moment, Donald Trump?
Because he's a psychopath, and it's not even like it's not funny. It's just the whole campaign feels like being tickled. At the beginning, it was a lot of fun, and now it's really sickening. He's like, he's going to get in. I really think he's going to get in.
No, don't be so miserable.
Brexit.
I think if Donald Trump becomes president, I mean, it's not a surprise attack. They've seen him coming for some time. He'll have a heart attack or he'll be, you know, something will happen. He won't get past February.
It sounded like you were going to do it there, Paul. Like, don't worry, I've got this.
Let's just say that plans have been put into place.
But Trump, the American system has a very good way of just neutralising presidents they don't like anyway. Obama came in, that was it. The entire machinery just blocked him for 8 years, so I'm sure the same will happen with Trump.
Hillary's not very popular either, of course. What rumours have been circulating about her this week?
She's sick, and that's always been the big one. She's got a cold, boo!
No, some people have seriously started to think and claim that Hillary Clinton might actually be a robot.
Oh, no. I was thinking of saying that, but I thought it's just such a ridiculous thing to say. I censored myself. A robot that gets pneumonia. Incredible advances in technology, isn't it?
They're so lifelike these days, Paul.
Computer virus.
I can see Bill Clinton's behaviour in a different light now, though. You know, if he was married to a robot, then I could understand there might be... He might seek solace in the middle of the night instead of reaching out for somebody with a tin arse. He can sort of reach out for a real woman somewhere. President of the United States, got a robot woman at home. You know, I don't blame him. Might have been his one reason for getting into politics. Get a girlfriend away from robot woman. With the flashing eyes.
This will be replayed as part of Trump's campaign.
I'm willing to go over and speak.
Who would like to see the Dalai Lama take on the Donald?
Yes.
Yes.
Have you met Donald Trump? Never. What do you think of him? I don't know. Sometimes you see his sort of the way his hair, so something like that, and his mouth small.
The Independent revealed that Donald Trump has told terminally ill people to stay alive long enough to vote for him, which has resulted in bad headlines for Trump, but a surge in bookings at Dignitas. According to The Times, Tim Kaine, the Democrat vice presidential candidate, is a skilled harmonica player who carries at least 4 with him at one time. He insists on harmonica because Hillary panics when she hears the words mouth and organ too close together. Mind you, harmonica brings back bad memories as well. Ian and Kevin, take a look at this.
This is our new Prime Minister, not him. Don't have a heart attack. He's putting on a stupid hat. Someone's trying to put on a rosette. That's a tough one. Oh, no, he can't do it. Bang.
It looks a bit like KK clanhood, doesn't it? So is this the Tory party conference?
Yes.
Well, there were 2 conferences, weren't there? The first one, which was basically the UKIP conference, where she said boo to immigrants and foreigners and people who work in firms who are foreign, and we'll cut them all down. And then there was the Labour Party conference on the last day, when she said, oh, tax avoiders, we'll get them, big business, capitalism, boo. So she's got the right, she's got the left, and if you're in the middle, she thinks she's got you as well.
Yep, so this is the first Conservative Party conference with Theresa May as leader and Prime Minister. What was the big announcement?
She set a date for Brexit.
That's it.
And amusingly, she said it'll be right at the end of March, which means we'll leave the EU on April the 1st.
I haven't even read Article 50 and she's prepared to trigger it. And it's very soon. It took me about 6 months to get a Vodafone contract. This is getting stuff moving.
She's going to indeed trigger Article 50 by March 2017, whatever that means. Some European thing. I've lost interest completely. There doesn't seem to be any kind of plan for getting out of the EU, but Tory MP Andrew Davies seemed pretty sure that Brexit will definitely be sorted.
And conference, mark my words, we will make Brexit a success.
Could it be that the entire nation has voted under a slight misapprehension? They were merely wanting breakfast.
Now, should we be allowed to discuss Theresa May's clothes?
Yes, I suppose so, yes.
We don't discuss Boris Johnson or Philip Hammond?
Yes, we do. We discuss Boris's hair, his ties, whether his trousers are off or on.
Yes.
Anyway, she said it's fine to talk about her shoes, because then she can buy some more.
Yes.
They were great shoes. She had an absolute pair of crackers on yesterday. They were very rock and roll. She came out to the Stones, and it was like all this appropriating this sort of like cool hip, and she kept quoting Sam Cooke, like a change is going to come, and it's like, what? That's like a civil rights anthem, and you're using it like a change is going to come, foreigners getting out. Like it was...
There was a pair of steel-tipped shoes. Ah. And these are the issues that really matter. We're not uninterested in workers' representation on boards. Let's have the shoes.
There they go. Steel cat. Ooh.
They're the real front of a nuclear sub, aren't they? Killer shoes.
Theresa May have severed most ties with David Cameron, but some things never change. Whom did she find the time to meet on a 36-hour whistle-stop visit to the United Nations in New York last month?
Justin Bieber.
It was Rupert Murdoch, because obviously she hasn't been elected yet by him. And then she flew back to give someone a kicking in those heels. Probably Michael Gove. I mean, you were there. She didn't really like many of the Tories, did she? The old ones.
No. Neither did I, actually, but anyway. Yeah.
Did you like her? Did you like Theresa May?
Anyway, the answer...
It's all right, she's not going to offer you a job.
No, I doubt that very much. Now, Boris Johnson made a speech. What did he say were the two sides of liberty's golden coin?
Was it heads and tails?
No, he said a 2-for-1 ice cream Snickers bar and a copy of Private Eye. By which he meant the embodiments of economic and political freedom. I mean, you must have been welling up at that point, Ian. I mean...
I was certainly throwing up.
I seem to remember that shortly after the vote, a senior public figure appeared on Question Time with David Dimbleby calling for Boris Johnson to be arrested. Can you remember who that was, Ian?
Yes, and I stick by it.
Now, Liam Fox was waving the flag for British business.
Yes.
Which business is he particularly interested in supporting?
Ooh. These are tough questions, Nick.
Yeah. He's suddenly got his university challenge.
Yeah.
British.
Breakfast.
The breakfast business?
Bacon.
Yeah. The innovative jam business. His department sent out this tweet during the conference. France needs high-quality, innovative British jams and marmalades. Seriously.
How innovative can you be with a jam? It's only...
Don't use any fruit.
But no one in Fox's team has the conviction or passion of former Food and Environment Minister Liz Truss.
We import 2/3 of our cheese. That is a disgrace.
Ah, well, the environment's loss is now the Justice Department's loss too. What does Health Secretary Jeremy Hunt want to do?
He wants to create more homegrown doctors, which is brilliant, if late. And there was some confusion about whether foreign doctors had to go home straight away.
Yeah.
So you're in the middle of the consultation and, oh, they've gone.
But he's also doing a thing, instead of sort of luring them to stay, he's making that they have to work for the NHS for 4 years after they graduate, so they can't go somewhere else.
Yeah. After spending $70,000 each to train for 5 years, I imagine junior doctors will think that's pretty fair. Perhaps one of them took this photo of Jeremy Hunt. Jeremy Hunt definitely does have one fan. Now, who is that?
It's not me.
Is it Jeremy Hunt?
Who absolutely loved his own speech, as we can see here.
And we must recognise it today. Fighting this horrible disease. We will launch the campaign you want.
Wow.
Now, none of you have mentioned Philip Hammond yet?
No.
What an appalling error. How could we have forgotten Philip Hammond?
Yeah.
Someone said during his speech they really did lose the will to live.
Now, that's actually a bit unfair, because he actually did tell a few jokes in his speech. Would anyone like to hear one? It was about Ed Balls.
Yes.
Yeah, OK.
By the way, you know Ed wasn't their first choice for Strictly. They were going to ask Corbyn to do it, but then someone told him that he had 2 left feet.
And this is his own party. Get off.
Politicians and jokes, eh? Anyway,
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, some are quite good at it in the end. Not deliberately.
What's Jeremy Corbyn?
Would you ever go on Strictly Come Dancing, Nick?
No.
Oh, no? No. All right, sorry, mate, I was just asking.
That's top of the range. It's Strictly, then I'm a celebrity. Have I got news for you?
I'm starting at the bottom rung. Now, what's Jeremy Corbyn been doing while all this has been going on?
He's been rambling at Hadrian's Wall.
Is that just a bit of gossip?
No, he put photos up because he bought some sort of jumper.
Yeah.
Some sort of jumper. That could be a title of an autobiography.
He's had a bit of a reshuffle. And he was also doing this last week. In the background, there's a sweet little model of Rome burning. It's the Conservative Party conference where Theresa May has called on the Tories to embrace the centre ground. The Prime Minister criticised the Liberal elite for belittling the intellectual capacity of ordinary voters. Quite right. The time to do that is with an exam when they're 11 years old. According to the new Home Secretary, Amber Rudd, every taxi driver is going to be questioned on whether or not they're supposed to be here, to which they'll reply, "You're right, mate, I should have been in Finchley 10 minutes ago." Theresa May has constantly reminded us that the people have voted for Brexit. She's less quick to remind us that people didn't vote for her to be Prime Minister. And let's face it, she only got the job because she was against a buffoon, a total git, and Andrea Leadsom.
Didn't work for everyone, though, did it?
And so, to round 2, the strengthometer of news.
Yeah.
Fingers on buzzers, teams. Here's the first one. Ian and Kevin.
Fish. Someone's found out that they talk to each other in regional accents.
They talk to each other in regional accents?
They do.
This is the news that scientists have been given £300,000 to study whether cod have regional accents. Why does it matter that some cod sound different to other cod?
If they think the cod's a bit rough for them or a bit too posh for them, they won't go with them, you know. Like a Midlands cod wouldn't go with an Ascot cod.
They can't find each other.
I love you, but I can't help but feel that we shouldn't be together. You swim in deeper waters than I do.
That is, extraordinary enough, basically right.
It can't be. How can that be right?
Global warming is pushing southern cod populations north, so Cornish cod could be mingling with Scousers. According to the Daily Star, If males cannot chat up females who speak in a different dialect, it could threaten their ability to breed. But would anyone like to hear the romantic crooning of a smitten cod?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Here is an American cod.
Right. Vote Trump, it seems to be saying.
And here's a cod from Norway.
Yeah. Help, I'm drowning.
Can anyone tell the difference? Which
No.
one's sexier?
Well, I fancy the Norwegian.
Did you?
Yeah, he sounded friendlier.
Yeah, do you think?
Yeah.
The American was a bit of a braggart.
Yeah, he didn't sound like he'd read as much.
No.
What will Dr. Simpson do if his £300,000 study into UK cod accents proves successful?
He'll do another one for 500,000.
His next mission will be to see if haddock have regional accents.
This is a wind-up.
He's going to go through every species, isn't he?
And no one could ever prove him wrong, because that would mean them spending 300,000 to go in. So he could just go like, oh, these cods, they speak, and this one...
Octopus has a Scouse accent.
Yeah.
Looking at me arms, I've got lovely, eh? What's where that one's going around here behind your back? Here we are.
I really hope they do have Scouse accents now.
Well, we've been told it by the former leader of... Who are you again?
Sticking with regional accents, how have Ofcom upset the Scots this week?
I don't know, but I want to know, Nick. Why? It's happened.
They have said that while calling a Welsh person a taff is offensive, calling someone from Scotland jock was merely mild language, generally of little concern. Other mild words, according to Ofcom, are ginger and Nazi.
I need to remember that for when I meet Prince Harry.
Mild. This is indeed the news that a study has been conducted into whether cod have regional accents.
They haven't.
The report...
They don't speak.
I don't know if they do. Dogs fly helicopters. Oh.
Now, fingers on buzzers, teams.
This is Jamie Oliver. He's got into trouble because he's come up for a recipe for paella, which the Spaniards don't agree is paella, and so he's got into trouble because of that.
Because he's added chorizo.
Chorizo.
Uh-oh, chorizo.
Yeah.
Bad. I don't know what that is.
Plus, some people don't find it very appetising because it's got a picture of his face right in the middle of it.
Some of the abuse was pretty bad, eh? They said, why don't you go and make chicken nuggets out of your own fingers?
A Spanish man, Antonio Villarreal, tweeted, "My version of fish and chips combines aubergine with duck." And one Daily Mail commenter added, "Jamie, I voted for Brexit because you said you would leave the country if we won. Why are you still here?" But why? Why are people so angry?
This is cultural appropriation, which, you know,
But
essentially...
I've had chorizo in paella in Spain. In lots of the... Like,
yeah,
lots
but
of times.
you are not allowed to say this is my recipe for paella because you're not Spanish. Like, if you cook spaghetti bolognese, anyone who cooks it tonight is guilty of cultural appropriation. The only thing we are allowed to cook is fish fingers. That is Britain in Brexit future.
You should just have called it paella a la Gibraltar, and then... No, why? Your wife is Spanish, Nick.
Yes.
What would happen if you put a bit of chorizo in the paella?
Oh, well, there are very strict rules of what should and shouldn't go into a paella. And
Finally, something Nick's expert on.
But what can be added other than chorizo according to Spanish dogma?
Rabbit.
Yeah.
Right?
Rabbit, duck,
chicken,
snails,
donkey. Depends on the region.
It'll be a pretty big pan to cook a donkey in there.
Can anybody name any other food-related sacred cows?
Well, certain things that can't be changed.
You can't do, yeah.
Haggis, I suppose, is a pretty traditional recipe.
I had an Edinburgh burger this year.
Did you?
Which is a beef burger with haggis on top.
Yeah, yeah.
That was brilliant.
Is it nice?
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah,
Just a sample of my life.
I've never seen you so proud.
Yeah, it's really delicious.
In Italy, you mustn't have parmesan on seafood, pineapple on pizza, or ketchup on pasta. And in Scotland, you mustn't have salad on a plate. Can anyone tell me what Jamie has named his newborn son?
Is it food-related?
Yeah.
Basil.
Oh,
Non-stick frying pan.
George Foreman.
His name is River Rocket. So there you go. Putting the chorizo in the paella isn't the oddest choice he's made this year. Jamie Oliver has outraged the people of Spain, several of them, by adding chorizo to his version of paella. One Spanish chef said that Jamie had landed in hot water. Now the Spanish are arguing about how long he should be in hot water for and whether the lid should be on or off. Fingers on buzzers, teams. Here's the next one.
This is Kim Kardashian, who up to this point I had no idea what she looked like. She has been robbed in Paris. They've taken away jewellery worth millions, and that's the story.
I didn't know who it was because I haven't usually seen her from this angle.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
She seems to have a front. Anyway, it's a very, very exciting story.
They're reality TV stars, and this is reality TV. That's an episode I would have watched. Do you keep up with the Kardashians?
I certainly do. There's very little about them I don't know.
Married to Kanye West?
Indeed.
They've got a son.
And divorced from Kanye East.
They've got a son, Saint.
And
a daughter called North. Saint and Northwest. Whatever happened to traditional names like Fred or Rosemary? That's what I was...
As she was tied up like a sausage, Kim Kardashian was a victim of what French police call a classic saucissonnage, or a sausage job. Wasn't that what Keith Vaz ordered? But, yeah. Faced with masked jewel thieves, breaking into her apartment...
in a different light, Nick.
You've lost your damn mind.
Faced with masked jewel thieves breaking into her apartment and pointing guns at her, Kim Kardashian said, "Stop, I have children." To which the robbers replied, "No thanks, we'll take the jewels." Time now for the odd one out round. It's just one between you this week. Michael Gove, Gary Lineker, Nigel Farage and canoe man John Darwin.
Is it about beards?
No.
No. It's about how much you hated Michael Gove.
Not quite.
No, it's about underpants.
Yes.
What?
Lineker, when Leicester City won the league, he promised
to appear in his underpants. The canoe man was found selling underpants when they finally found him in... Was he in Panama? Or was that Amber Rudd's family?
I hope that Amber Rudd marries somebody called Green, and she'd be like a traffic light, wouldn't she be? Amber Rudd Green. Just occurred to me, that's all.
Nigel Farage went skinny dipping, or the papers said he went skinny dipping, and he jumped off the end of a pier, which again, when you first read it, seemed a more positive story than it turned out. But then he said, "No, I wasn't skinny dipping, I had my underpants on." So they had underpants on. Gove, come on, you worked with Gove. Tell us about his underpants.
Well,
We've got nothing out of you this evening.
Well, they've all, you're quite right, exposed their underwear in public, except for John Darwin, the canoe man, who now sells underwear.
So when did Gove expose his underwear in public? Come on.
Well,
was it in a cabinet meeting?
No, he did it while
he was
he
in an argument over education?
He did it while he was a student at Oxford. I think we can have a look at this.
I'm going to let you know what's underneath my kilt. Now, just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Ordinarily, people have to pay for this pleasure. And I have, underneath my kilt, a pair of Oxford Union boxer shorts.
What rumour from Gove's student days was recently revealed?
I mean, anything based on what I've just seen there.
The university student newspaper Charwell reported that Gove took part in a 5-in-a-bed romp with 2 male and 2 female students. What explanation did Gove allegedly give for taking part in the romp?
He was horny.
He fancied the other 4. He didn't have his glasses on, he thought he was applying for a work permit.
Sources claim that Gove took part in the romp as he was only seeking comfort after being beaten up in Aberdeen on Boxing Day.
Well, to be fair, it is a national sport in Aberdeen to beat up Michael Gove every Boxing Day.
They've all exposed their underwear in public except for John Darwin. According to the Daily Mail, when he was a student at Oxford, Mr. Gove and two other male students ended up in bed with two women. "Who's stabbing me in the back?" said one. "Ah, sorry," said Gove and turned the other way. On his last night as leader of UKIP, Nigel Farage went skinny dipping in the English Channel, the sight of which convinced a dinghy full of desperate immigrants that they'd be better off in Calais. And as soon as Mr. Farage was seen floating in the sea, the beach lost its blue flag status. Time now for the Missing Words Round, which this week features as its guest publication, the Village Sign Times. And we start with gouty-legged ninnycock, hollow mouth, and cucumber what?
Sandwich.
Are still in charge of Brexit negotiations.
New Look Spice Girls are back.
The answer is, we'll help you swear like an Elizabethan. Language historian Dr. Todd Gray, MBE, has been researching Britain's best old-fashioned swear words, also including nippy, tarse and whittol. And before you write in to complain, I can use these words as it's after the 1648 watershed. Next, at least one person joined the Village Sign Society just to what?
Get out of the house.
Spread ill will at every opportunity.
To get their hands on the Village Sign database. Wow, I wondered what Edward Snowden was up to these days. Next, Lord Mandelson's top skincare tip, what?
Lizard scales.
Don't go out in the day and only leave the crypt at night.
Don't drink coffee. This is from the story of Brexit, as told by Cameron's communications advisor. Apparently, Mandelson warned Craig Oliver that coffee was bad for his skin. And when Oliver replied, "I've got lovely skin," Mandelson said, "You may lose it." Next, during Ken Savage's tour of Scottish village signs, what?
Inevitably, things turn to cannibalism. Just outside Falkirk.
The answer is he never actually visited Scotland. Rather than visit Scotland to look at Scottish signs, Ken spent an evening browsing the internet. Though remarkably, his article failed to mention this one. Next, cop who accidentally tased woman what to say sorry?
Gave her a buzz.
Brilliant.
Thank you, that guy that clapped in there.
The answer is bought her a cake. The lady in question tweeted a picture of the cake. "Sorry, I tased you." Next, what may make airplane food taste better?
Eating something nice at the same time.
Chorizo!
Watching the movie Alive.
Using earplugs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Scientists believe the white noise from aeroplanes may affect how we perceive flavour. And finally, Dutch couple so enamoured by A272, what?
They've had plastic surgery to resemble the motorway.
The answer is they penned an ode to the road. And that's what happens when you move from grass to skunk.
Why can't you take your glasses off so coolly there? Like, that's what happens when you go from grass to skunk.
He's done that before, hasn't he? That was well practiced, that move, wasn't it?
I imagine you say that a lot.
Yeah. Did you smoke skunk back in your uni days?
What?
Sorry, Come on, we're bringing up Michael Gove's student days. What about yours?
People have done worse.
Were they?
Your mate, he fucked a pig. Allegedly.
So the final scores are Paul and Roisin 4 and Ian and Kevin 5. before we go, there's just time for the caption competition. Ian and Kevin have this.
Big dog and small dog. Let me finish. Let me finish, please.
You're on a roll, I'd leave it there.
Have lovely evening marred as food fails to show.
I prefer big dog and small dog.
Paul and Roisin, get that.
Big panda and big panda.
Apparently the Lib Dems are nearly extinct. Oh, it's too late for that.
And here's a bonus one for you all.
Oh.
The Empire Strikes Bake. We're just bodyguards, don't you think? To protect her from being stolen by Channel 4. They've got Imperial stormtroopers surrounding Mary at all moments. Paul Hollywood, little droid. Mary.
You're having one of your turns again, Ian. You wanted me to point it out the next time it happened, do you remember?
Thanks, sorry.
He gets a nosebleed when he starts dealing with public culture. So, has this been a worthwhile experience for you then, do you reckon?
Hasn't quite finished yet.
Oh, really?
On which note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Kevin Bridges, Paul Merton and Roisin Conaty, and I leave you with news that during final practice for Saturday's Strictly Come Dancing, Ed Balls decides to end his quick step by trying the splits. In Syria, as Russian warplanes go on yet another illegal bombing raid, the United States finally hit back. And there's drama in the grounds of Balmoral as Prince Philip loses control of the barbecue. Good night.
The laughs come thick and fast in Radio 4's Sketchorama. New acts from the comedy circuit, online now. Here next, Miranda Hart and John Bishop among the guests with Graham Norton.